Here are all the books I read in March and my opinions on them, and if I liked them, if I didn't like them, without spoilers. This is a spoiler-free zone. I'm just gonna give you guys a brief synopsis of the book, what I thought of it, and if I recommend that you should read it. So let's get started with the very first book that I read this month, which was God of Pain by Rena Kent. Highly recommend this book. It is a 6-star read. It has been the best book that I have read so far in 2025. I freaking love this book. This is 50 Shades of Grey with a fake dating trope. You could not ask for better. You could not ask for more. This was everything. And Rena Kent's writing style, I'm just falling absolutely in love with it. It's so Elle Kennedy-esque. It's like if Elle Kennedy wrote dark books, which she does, just under a different pen name. But it's amazing. It's so good. I love the interconnected standalones. I love how all of the couples start coupling off, and it was absolutely remarkable. I also picked up the third book in the series. I picked up God of Wrath this month as well. I didn't like it as much as God of Pain, but I liked it better than God of Malice. So it's sitting right in the middle. So far my tier rank for Legacy of Gods is God of Pain at the top, then God of Wrath, and then God of Malice. I am planning to continue on with this series in April and in May, and hopefully start getting caught up on Rena Kent, because I have this feeling she's going to become one of my new favorite authors, and I've only read 3 books. But I feel really confident saying she's going to become one of my new favorite authors. I'm really excited for it. Then in the month of March, I did do a reread. I reread The Hating Game. What brought this on, you ask? They added The Hating Game to Kindle Unlimited. And every time I opened my Kindle, it was like, new releases, Hating Game. And I was like, oh, I love that book. But I've already read it, and I wasn't feeling like I needed to reread it. And then I was doing the lives, and a bunch of people were like, I'm reading The Hating Game because it's on Kindle Unlimited. And I was like, oh my God, I want to reread The Hating Game. So I did. I reread The Hating Game. It took me like a day. This is one of my favorite books. It is such a comfort read. If you are an enemies to lovers, love a good banter, this is absolutely 100% the book for you. The Hating Game is top tier, excellent. This is contemporary romance. I did continue on with Magnolia Parks. Magnolia Parks was one of my favorite books that I read last month, and this month I picked up Daisy Hates. Daisy Hates was incredible. I always picture Magnolia as like Blair Waldorf from Gossip Girl. I almost said Gilmore Girls, but that's wrong. It's Gossip Girl. And Daisy Hates reminds me so much of Little J. This is a Little J and Nate Archibald love story, just retold in a mafia setting, and Daisy Hates was fantastic. If we're comparing Magnolia Parks and Daisy Hates, Magnolia had the better love story, Daisy had the better plot. This is action-packed. It borderline reads like a really good thriller. This was so twisty. The romance was fantastic. It had the full cast of characters. Almost everybody from Gossip Girl is somewhere to be found in these books, though I have not found Dan yet. I'm looking for the Dan of the series, but I haven't found him yet. But believe me, Chuck, Blair, Serena, Little J, and Nate are absolutely present, and I'm really excited to read Magnolia's next book in April. Then I read Deep End. Deep End was arguably the most popular book read in the month of March. It just came out. It's by Ali Hazelwood, whom is an author that I absolutely adore. I love Ali Hazelwood. She is so funny. She's so witty. I really like her. I like her books, but this one wasn't doing it for me. Deep End, the further I get away from this book and the more I think about this book, the more I dislike this book. I gave it 3 stars. The more I think on it, the more I want to give it a 2, because there are things about this book that I still think about, and the only things that I think about are the things that bugged me and the things I didn't like. So unfortunately, I don't think I recommend this one. I'm so sorry. Just for me, this one didn't work. Book that absolutely worked. I read Caraval. This was our book club book of the month for March. It is a YA magic competition And our girl Scarlett makes all the wrong choices. I love a flawed character. One of the girls in book club referred to her as a broken crayon. And I was like, yes, she is. She is a broken crayon character. And you just want to yell at her the whole time. Like every time she makes a decision, you want to be like, no, Scarlett, pick something else. But it's so good. I love characters who never make the right decisions. They are my favorite types of characters. And this had a fake dating trope, which is one of my absolute favorite things. This was an easy 5-star read. It was absolutely fantastic. Highly recommend. Definitely going to be continuing on the series or maybe even finishing the series in the month of April. I read Phantasma. Now, Phantasma was, I'm going to say, based off of Caraval. I don't know if that's true or not, but that's what I'm going with. These two books, Caraval and Phantasma, were so similar to each other and yet so different from each other. Oh, they were both remarkable. Caraval is your YA borderline middle grade story. Phantasma is your new adult borderline dark romance story. So it just like takes all the elements of Caraval, but it bumps it up a notch. It makes it spicy. It makes it a lot darker. It makes like the stakes of the game way higher because in Caraval, you're not really gonna like die when you're in the competition. As to where in Phantasma, like hundreds of people die in the competition. It's so good. It's so good. Like the stakes are so much higher. There's so much more plot and spice going on in Phantasma. It was excellent. So if you liked Caraval and you're older and you're like, ooh, let's bump it up, definitely pick up Phantasma. But even if you're older, Caraval is excellent. Like as a grown-up, I love this book. So Caraval was definitely a recommend. Because I read Deep End and they referenced 50 Shades of Grey, I desperately missed Christian and had to go back. So I started rereading 50 Shades of Grey. I love reading this series this time of year. Spring, the story starts in the month of April. I like picking it up this time of year so that when I finish it, I'm like kind of in line with everything. So I picked this one up the end of March. Absolutely love rereading this series. This is my 16th or 17th time rereading 50 Shades of Grey. Yeah, I love the plot. Everyone's like, you reread it for the spice, and I'm like, no. The characters and the plot, that are what make 50 Shades of Grey the easiest book to reread because it's so good. I absolutely love the characters. And the movies got quite a few things wrong. So if you've only seen the movies and you haven't read the books, the first book is pretty close, but the second and third, they remove a lot of characters and they remove a lot of scenes. So highly recommend definitely reading the books. And the last book that I read on March 32nd and March 33rd. Yeah, I had to read Sunrise on the Reaping in the month of March. It was on my March TBR. I was reading it in March and I started it like the second to last day of March and it took me a couple of days to read it. And I just decided to tack on 2 extra days in April and mush them into March. So I read this book March 30th, 31st, 32nd, and 33rd. And I am counting it for March because that's when it came out. And this is the TBR that it was assigned to. So there you have it. Sunrise on the Reaping. This follows Haymitch's story from the Hunger Games. He is one of my favorite characters in Hunger Games. And I loved finally getting to see his story and where his storyline was going. This was an easy 5-star read for me. It was my second favorite in the series. I did like Catching Fire a little bit more, but this is definitely my second favorite. It's in my top 2. Highly recommend if you are a fan of the Hunger Games. Now, if you've only watched the movies, all of the movies, 1, 2, 3, and then A Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. If you have seen all of the Hunger Games movies, you can absolutely pick up Sunrise on the Reaping and just start reading. You do not need to go back and read the other books in the series in order to enjoy Haymitch's story. Now, the books are very good, but Hunger Games is one of those adaptations where the book and the movie are like spot on. There's some minor nuanced differences, but nothing that's going to make it so that you can't enjoy the book if you've only watched the movies. Month of April is coming right around the bend, so we do have preview night. for the month of April. That is going to be coming up next. So I hope to see you guys in the next one, and happy reading. If you read any of these books in the month of March, please let me know down in the comments which books you read and what you rated them, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!